something unseen began to follow him home. Daniel was not a man of excess. He believed life made more sense when it was lived quietly. His days followed a familiar rhythm. Wake before dawn, bray briefly at the edge of the bed, dress neatly, and step into the morning air while the city was still stretching awake. Joy, his wife, often teased him for being too disciplined. "You live like the world will collapse if you miss one routine," she would say, smiling as she handed him his breakfast. Daniel would only shrug. Peace comes from order, and peace was something he guarded carefully. He worked as an accountant in a small firm that handled local businesses, shops, transport unions, private schools. The work was steady, the pay modest, but it was enough. Enough to pay rent, enough to eat well, enough to sleep at night without worry. Daniel did not chase luxury. He only wanted stability. That was why the walk to work mattered to him. It was his moment of quiet reflection before the noise of numbers and deadlines. The road was long and dusty, lined with half-built structures and stubborn patches of grass that survived where nothing else could. Street traders began setting up their stalls, buses honked impatiently, and the smell of fuel mixed with frying oil in the air. And then there was the man by the fence. At first, Daniel barely noticed him, just another beggar in a city full of need. But over time, the man became impossible to ignore. Always sitting in the same spot, right where the broken fence leaned awkwardly into tall grass. His body was thin, almost folded into itself, like someone trying to disappear. His clothes were old and mismatched, his cap permanently tilted low over his eyes. He never shouted, never chased anyone, never stood. He only raised one hand slightly and spoke in a low, steady voice. "Please help me. God bless you." That was all. Yet every time Daniel passed him, something tightened inside his chest, a feeling he couldn't explain. It wasn't fear exactly, and it wasn't guilt either. It felt more like being watched by something that pretended not to see you. So Daniel did what he always did. He looked straight ahead and kept walking. It wasn't that he hated beggars. In fact, Daniel had given many times before, to churches, to widows, to strangers in genuine distress. But this man felt different. There was something about his stillness, something about how his voice never changed, no matter the day or the weather. Rain soaked the man's clothes, yet he didn't move. Scorching sun burned the road, yet he remained.